So hi, my name is Claude Théoret. I'm the founder and the CEO of Nexalogy. What does Nexalogy do? Well, Nexalogy is a social discovery engine. We analyze literally about 500 million tweets a year, roughly, and then other things as well. And our software automatically detects very weak signals, but basically we find voters, we find new risks that you might not have expected, new trends, and of course we've easily detected spam and fake news and such things like that. So what's the problem right now? The problem is that there's actually, one of the reasons why AI is flourishing is because big data failed. There's so much big data and not enough humans to analyze it that in the US economy right now, there's gonna be missing 1.5 million people who even know how to do anything with data. That's not me, that's McKinsey that's saying that. The pain is even worse because every year, social data increases by a factor of 1.5. That means that every 5 years, it increases by a factor of 10. So if you're having trouble keeping up with the Twitter timeline, it's only gonna get worse. Now, the ultimate pain, and there's a lot of pain here that I'm putting on, is that social data is full of fake news and full of spam and full of horrible things like bots. This isn't recent. We've been spotting this since about 2012. Nexalogy was at the forefront of bot detection. That's why it's going well today for us. But this is an article from 2013. Okay, the amount of spam is greater than even what, let's say, we're seeing with the election in the US. So what's the solution to all this? Well, what we call it machine-assisted discovery. Now, it's easy to look for things that you know, right? But so how do we distinguish us from all the other companies that kind of do social media monitoring? Well, monitoring searches for what you know. Search, Google, all these other companies, that's a well-known thing. It's pretty easy to search for that. What Nexalogy does is discovery, and this is a Seth Godin quote. A discovery is much harder because if I make you discover something you know already, it's kind of useless. So the whole point is that we have to find things that you would not have found by yourself. Discovery is when a friend, an organization, a really smart software like ours helps you find something you didn't know you were looking for. Okay? I hate to quote Donald Rumsfeld at any time, but I think he understood this very well. Okay? And the term of today's discussion was about intelligence. Well, military intelligence or the CIA and those kind of intelligence agencies, the point is to take things from the unknown and bring them to the known. And that's what we do. Okay? We do that by picking signals that are usually obfuscated by things that are too overwhelming. So we're going to show you, it's all theoretical, we'll show you a real case study. This was done by a Quebecois boot factory that wanted to enter the US market, and we did their entry into the market for them. We analyzed 124,000 blog posts, and PricewaterhouseCoopers thought this was so interesting that it was a case study for their technology forecast. Play the video, please.
Companies aren't always sure where their next markets are going to be, but reading what others are saying about their products on social media can sometimes give them ideas. Take the example of a safety boot manufacturer in the middle of a turnaround. The company had been using conventional business intelligence techniques, but it knew it needed to do a better job with social media. The challenge was how to pick the 1,000 or so conversations worth reading out of the 100,000 conversations mentioned in the company's products. An organizational code was brought in to help the company understood that the marketers needed the context of the conversations as well as the conversations themselves. They needed to use that context to help them zoom in on the most relevant discussions of their products. She recommended that they use Nexalogy's social data analysis system. The system analyzes the interest graph to cluster conversations that are most closely related to one another. So marketers can zoom in on conversations that seem most relevant and interesting. The Nexalogy tool did millions of correlations to identify and help cluster the conversations. It selected the relevant conversations that mentioned the products. The marketers who looked through those conversations were surprised and pleased to see social media buzz from buyers who saw the boots as fashion statements. For this case, the tool displayed results in two different maps. With the lexical or text map, the marketers could see the linkages between topics and how popular each topic is, so they could zoom in on the buzz. With the publisher map, they could focus in on the influencers, the bloggers who are posting about the boots. When seeing the correlations between both maps, they could find the bloggers who were helping to generate the positive buzz. La Tendresse then coached the company on expanding and refining its business intelligence process, including adding a social media component and focus groups near the end of the process. The key step, she said, was to define the questions that you want to have answered. You will definitely be surprised because the system will reveal customer attitudes you didn't anticipate.
So, what are the things that we found that their own company couldn't find? 2 brand new markets, one of which became the biggest seller for the entire company. First, the VTT market. So people who would, take the boots, construction boots, to go do all-terrain vehicles, and sadomasochism. Okay, certainly female lesbian dominatrixes who felt very powerful in these boots became a major market. So what's next for Nexalogy? Well, we're going to take this and we're just going to take the human out of the equation now. What we've done is that we've taken our clustering algorithms and now we tailored them with entity extraction and chatbots. So, and we've trained the chatbots on Laswell's model of communication. Have you ever heard of W5? What, where, like the basics of journalism? So we're basically automating journalism and intelligence reporting. What we've done is that we take real case situations. Here we took Hurricane Irma, and we trained it, we analyzed about 115,000 tweets in real time, extracted all the entities, and produced these sentences, resuming in real time what is happening with no humans whatsoever involved. This is automating the job of journalism. This is what the social media analysis and military analysts of the future is going to look like. We did this work with the NRC, and we'd really like to thank our partners.